March 18th, 1945. It was a rest day. A prisoner of war for 3 long, miserable years.
So this says, the Japanese government has surrendered. You will be evacuated by Allied nations' forces as soon as possible.
It was a project 10 years in the making, but Theresa Loong's documentary about a father and daughter's relationship is done, ready, and it's airing. She joins us today in the Wall Street Journal studios in Hong Kong. Theresa, thanks for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Tell me about your project. You've spent a long time doing it. What is it? Why are people going to be watching it?
Sure. Well, the project is called Every Day is a Holiday, and it's a documentary film. It has taken me a long time to make it, and it's a couple of different things. It's a theme with a father and a daughter, and the daughter is me, and it's kind of discovering a past, my father's past. And he's had many lives in a way, but one of the things that he had done or experienced in his life is he was a prisoner of war in Japan during World War II. And so this is a Chinese man who was born in Malaysia, and he eventually made it to the States, but it was quite a journey.
You know, what kind of relationship did you have with your dad?
So growing up, my dad is, well, he's a retired doctor, and I just thought, oh, you know, here's my dad, he's a doctor. He was a linesman when I was playing soccer growing up, and he seemed like other kids' fathers, I guess, except I had a sense that he was older. And because of that, it's a strange sense of time passing and trying to slow down time, I guess. But he's very loving, and he is one of the most joyful people I know. You know, that said, there were moments where I know my mom would say he would have nightmares, or he would hint at certain things, like towards like a darker past, and he would, I think he wanted to wait till my brother and I were old enough before he wanted to share more of that.
How did he share this information with you, and what did you learn about him?
Sure. So growing up, it was more about, I was about 11, and I saw a scar on my dad's back, so then I asked him what that was about, and then he said, oh, well, that's when I was burned by the Japanese. And so obviously at that point I knew something was up, and he and my mom will kid around sometimes, or he'd get a phone call and I just overhear murmurings of just him talking, right? But I didn't really know. And so it was only after college that it was definitely a way that I could sort of ask him questions and get to spend quality time with him, as well as learn more about his story, and through that, the story of the war in the Pacific, about Chinese-American immigration, things like that.
Usually we're reporting about other people, people we don't know. What was it like to be really close to your subject?
It is a balance. It's a balance to figure out when to stop pushing or when to keep pushing, especially with questioning, especially when it's, you know, a loved one. And so I did learn a lot, and it's hard to articulate, but it's a lot of it you have to just go by feel. Sometimes my dad would say, that's enough, and well, that's enough for the day, you know, and other times I also realized this helped me develop more compassion with other interviews as well, people who are outside my family. Sometimes it's very hard to talk about the past or about difficult things, right? And some people will never be able to talk about it. And so I realized that it's a matter of trust and continuing to gain that trust, and also respecting when sometimes things are off limits, or off limits at that period of time.
This is a World War II propaganda picture. It says, this man is your friend. He is Chinese. He fights for freedom.
Right, and through it all, every day was a holiday.
Yes, it's something that my dad actually says still. Today's another holiday. Every day as a free man is a holiday. So.
And Theresa Loong, thank you very much for joining us. Good luck.